Wondered what the guys are working on currently, but Spider tells me it's fixing up our rain that falls down between the two houses. But I've got a list of other things I want them to do after that. Presently they're framing up for something else, doing a bit of welding. Oh, the guys have gone home for today, and this is what they're working on with the leftovers of materials. So, got an extension on the south end. I wonder if they'll do another one on the north end, whether they've got enough materials. They've got enough sheet there. Look around the corner and see how much C channel I've got. No, I suspect they're not going to continue. That might be it. But, that's good. So that's on the south end. A bit more protection from falling coconuts maybe, I don't know. But I've given them a list of 9 other things we'd like done that they can tackle when they finish what they're working on currently. And preparation of these rice paddies has started, and that to me over there looks like another nice nursery ready for planting the next crop. Daddy was in here doing some tidying up earlier. It's good. Some of that's bound to be rubbish, but some of it's still got use and value. A bunch of my tools from Melbourne, like my grandfather's garden fork. One with a wooden handle. My garden fork's the long one. But yeah, good job dadding. It's Sunday about 1:30 in the afternoon. I'm going to take you to show you what we've achieved today so far. But I won't be outside for long, as you can see. Feels like it's 44.2. So yeah, this is going to be a short outing. Started the day with a list of 9 things I want to get done. The first one was replace that shut-off valve in the back toilet. That's a two-way one, heads off in 2 directions. Its predecessor had the wing that, or the outlet that went to the hand spray break off entirely. The corrosion corroded it off the valve. Now, I got replacement valves, but I wasn't quite game to actually attempt to replace it myself, because I figured if the outlet was corroded that badly, maybe the inlet would be too, which would mean if I tried to unscrew it from the wall, it would break off in the wall. I'm glad I made that choice, because sure enough, these guys did it and it broke off in the wall. But they persisted with it, and they managed to get that part out and install a new one. The hand spray hose from the old hand spray couldn't be recovered because the piece of the tap, the stop valve, was stuck in the end of that, so that was no good. Had another one, that was no good either, so borrowed one of the short curly ones from over at the shed just as a temporary measure. I've put an order in with Lizu for a replacement, so we'll see how we go there. And the second thing was to replace the electric bidet toilet thing in the main bathroom with this wooden one that everything came up from Melbourne. This is the one I'd replaced with an electric bidet in Melbourne, and now this one's being used to replace an electric bidet here, because that had failed totally. And I gave the guys the job of trying to get that old one off, because the way it was attached is there was a there's a bracket that attaches to the seat, and then the bowl, and then the electric seat sort of slides on and clicks into that, and there's a button to release it, but that button just doesn't work, or didn't work, never worked. So the thing couldn't be removed from the mount, which meant that the only access to the things that were holding it down were from cutting them out from underneath. So the guys managed to do that and put this one on, although it could have been mounted that way a little bit further, because it's at the point where you have to hold the seat up to have a pee, because if you're a male, obviously, because it doesn't go past the balance point. He wants to fall down again, but can cope with that. So that was job number 2. Job number 3 was to run the new black cable from the switchboard out to the gazebo here and wire it into that junction box. That's been done, and we have power. Although we didn't have power on that one initially because there was a wire that wasn't properly affixed in here. This power point was live, but one of the wires for the black cable there was not properly inserted, but that's all fixed now, so that's all good. And currently they're working on running the white cable, and that will go to well, they're going to have to buy some new sockets, because the one I've got here is actually broken, but the idea is to have a socket at that end and one at the corresponding place at the other end, and that will be about as far as they can be from the people who are sitting here and still be providing light underneath here. Want to have them as far as possible away from the people, so that when the insects are attracted, they're not above the people, because if people want to use this for an eating platform, you don't really want insects falling in the food. What they're tapping into here is the automatic lighting, which there's a day-night sensor up here, which controls when these outside lights turn on, and it's completely automatic. So I figure, okay, automatic lighting for there would be good. If people there don't want light, I'll unscrew the bulb. So they're going to have to go to Panamag and buy a couple more sockets. That'll take them 3/4 an hour to an hour. And that's all on the clock, so it's all good. But I have a bunch more jobs after that. Largely small ones like these. We are out the back of the shed, preparing for the next crop. Dirty job, but somebody's got to do it. And it works pretty well. It's on the automatic circuit that surrounds the shed. So there's 27 watts of lighting outside the shed, and another 3 watts there, sorry, another 6 watts there, 3 times 2. So 33 watts in total, illuminating all the surrounds of the shed. And that's supposedly a 200 watt solar powered lamp, so I don't know if that lasts all night. Yeah, so Jabata's saying that, yeah, this thing's pretty hot in the afternoon, so when we get the bamboo roller blind things, it'll be a lot better. But currently the people who supply those, it's the sort of Ramadan holiday type thing, so they'll be back on work after a week or so, and then we might get the blinds. But yeah, so job's right on that. I've been using one of these glue traps in front of that gap under the door, and we've had all sorts of things across it. Lizards, spiders, things that Jabata's picked out using a tissue, and of course that leaves bits of tissue stuck to it, so it was getting pretty manky. And she was saying, oh, you might need to put a new one there. Well, it was still functional. We got a customer last night. Not dead yet, but well, there you go. Not happy, not getting out. So he'll be off to the burn pit before long. But you can see the other bits and pieces around, the bits of tissue and spiders, and I don't know what's making that noise in the scooter cage. There's something going on in here, whether it's wildlife of some kind. Next task for these guys was figuring out where rodents were getting into the roof of the house and putting a stop to it. So they started by going up the stairs inside into the roof and found that yes, some of the soffit had fallen down over in this corner along the south side. So they're working on fixing that up. There had been a problem there previously with a hole big enough that we actually had a cat on the roof at one point chasing rats, which it's all very well, but it's a bit disruptive if you sleep. So I think that got fixed up to a certain extent by Dadding at that point, but obviously not enough to exclude rodents. There's been some dead ones up there at times, which Dadding has gone up and collected while trying not to throw up, because they'd been there for a while. But see how we go with these guys. And I've got about 6 more tasks after this. Some of them are pretty small. I don't know that we'd actually say we're christening the gazebo with a barbecue, but we're having a barbecue anyway. And the fan's there for me to try and cool me in that chair because I'm overheating, even though the sun's probably down. So it's mostly chicken on barbecue, on bamboo sticks, but they make up all sorts of spicy salt sunbowls to have with it. And I'm reminded I should go and put my garden blower away. I was using that to get some flame going on the charcoal. So the barbecue chicken's being mixed up in a bowl with the sunbowl now. So this is just a, I don't know what you call it now, but this is just a communal eating together as a social thing during Ramadan. And then the ravening hordes descend. Hungry, bud? Well, the guys have done well today. They finished the roof rat proofing yesterday, but today got them trim a couple of doors. So this one you can see down there where it was scraping. Some days it would scrape, some days it wouldn't. Some days it scraped enough to prevent it closing all the way. And I would stand there with the emery cloth on the floor and scrape it across that a few times, and it would be able to open that for that day. But they've taken it off and taken it away and removed a couple of door meters off the bottom. So that's all good now. And I was able to adjust the settings on the closer so it no longer has to wallop close. It does so gently. So that's all it takes. Excellent. I don't know what it is about this house, but some of these doors were mounted very, very close to the floor. Like this one, because the floor is not completely level, you'd open it up and it'd start scraping on the floor about there. It was make lots of loud noise until about there, and that would be okay. So they took that one off and took it away and shaved a couple of millimetres off the bottom of that too. We've got an exhaust fan in the bathroom here which had given up, but I had another fan, so we replaced that one, put another one in. It's on a thermostat controller, so above 28 degrees it says I will evacuate air from here, and it currently says 30.7, which means it's probably going to run for quite some time. That's the thermocouple for it. You can see up there about 35-40 centimetres from the ceiling. Now they've taken the security door from the back of the kitchen away to modify it a bit because it was scraping right there and it was making a lot of noise and difficult to close. So, and this stainless steel is very, very hard, so they're away working on that currently. After last night's gathering, Jabita's already put the word in to have this platform extended. I'm not quite sure which way it's going, that way or both, but that's what those bricks are over there apparently. So Bruce still stays the same size. So yeah, more eating space, but not more sitting space for just lounging around after dark under the cover. What I've got to keep an eye on here is I reckon sparrows will discover this and say, oh, nesting territory. So I'm going to keep an eye out for nesting in here. Put a stop to that. Yesterday the guys got under my recliner chair and found where the two bolts were come from and re-established those. But now that the thing's bolted more firmly together, it really does want to lock into the upright position when I pull the lever back from reclining. I think that's because Jabita found this one on the floor underneath it. Now I previously had this one living in a drawer where I put it aside. I think these may be what lock the thing into the upright mode better. The problem with both of them is that actually snapped off at one end, so I've just had to come over here and bend them so that I've got a loop to hook around the posts. So I'm going to go away and struggle with that. And in the bathroom we need a little bit longer bit of conduit to cover the wires for the replaced exhaust fan. So I'll go and play with that too. Meantime, I've learnt from Jabita that the extension for the platform is going to be out to this end, probably up to that corner, and somehow or other they've got a bridge over the drain, and there's going to be, since it's nice and tiled on the end, there's going to be a gap about a broom width between that platform and the next one. So I'm sure these guys will be onto that soon. Not really in a big rush to come out and see what the guy's been up to, because this morning at 10:20, humidity 87% and the feels like temperature was 50.9. Currently the feels like temperature is still over 48, so I won't be out long. Yeah, I guess I'm a bit boring there. I guess I'm a bit boring because I like white, but other people are more colourful than me. So these are no doubt colours Jabita's selected. So we have white, we have aqua, and we have purple. And we have the first bamboo blind up. They only come in 2 metre widths, so there's going to be 3 across the front and 1 at each end. But hopefully all the materials are UV stable. My attempt to use the springs underneath the recliner chair didn't work out at all well. Put them both on, supplementing some other springs I'd put on there previously, I think to replace these, and reclined the chair back, and bang, the end popped off that one and they both popped off the springs that I was supplementing. So I think they must be work hardened after, well, I bought these chairs 29 years ago, so I think these springs might be past the use by date, they've gone brittle. At the moment it won't even lock into the non-reclined position, so I'm I'm going to have to struggle with it like this until I can get the replacement chair I was thinking of buying. I did actually look up the other day, come across the expected lifetime of a recliner chair, 7 to 20 years depending on amount of usage. 7 years if you're in it all the time. I'm in these all the time. So this one's been repaired numerous times over the years, and I think it's reached its use by date. So it'll be, I'll put some cable ties around the mechanism to lock it into the upright position, and then we can just use it as an additional armchair. It's the last Friday before the end of Ramadan, and our workers are having the day off today. I just got flipped on. As you can see, it's raining. So this is the first real test since they did some work on the gap between the two houses to see whether I get that to be dry now. And I see where the drops are coming. There's actually holes through the metal up here. Okay, I don't know where that drop's coming from, and I'll point that out to them when they are here next. But it looked like you're fairly dry down that pathway, which was previously getting fairly wet. But yeah, okay, well it's Friday, so it's time to edit down what I got and do an upload. This chair will stay in the unreclined position if I'm not actually sitting on it. And as soon as I sit on it, the mechanism wants to extend out legs and recline the back, so yeah. I think it might be just wear on some bushes. It's got ball bearings for 14 of the joints under there, but that still leaves quite a few joints which are subject to a little bit of wear. None of them should have been critical though. But anyway, yeah, I shall now sit in that chair and do some editing.